Okay, so today this is the second class, or this is part 2 of knowledge representation and logical reasoning. In our last class, we have discussed about the introduction and the brief idea about knowledge representation and logical reasoning in AI. What is knowledge, what is fact, and what is information? We have discussed about that and what are the difference between these three, and how we can convert a fact into a knowledge. We have also discussed about that class. Okay, so today we are going to start with this deduction of the logic. What are the basic parameters of the deduction of this logic, human logic, and how we can convert this deductive logic for machine understandable language. Okay, I am just going to share a notes. According to these notes, we will continue our lecture. These notes you can follow, as I have already told you, in our physical class and in our virtual class also. I have shared that PDF format of that book in our Schoology account. So as a textbook, you can follow Russell Norvich, A Modern Approach to the Artificial Intelligence. This is a very good book. And the second book you can follow as a reference, as a textbook you can follow, that is Artificial Intelligence, Rich and Knight. It's a Tata McGraw-Hill production, Tata McGraw-Hill publication, and that Russell Norvich, A Modern Approach to Artificial Intelligence, that book has been published by Prentice Hall India, PHI. Okay, so I have shared that A Modern Approach for Artificial Intelligence, the PDF format of this book, I have already shared in your Schoology account, other than my own notes. So today, this knowledge representation and logical reasoning, today's class, I will follow the notes of Ohio State University. The link of this website will be cited in my notes as well as in YouTube channel also. The video recording, when I will post this video lecture to YouTube channel, in citation part or reference part, you will get the link of this particular website, that is Ohio State University. And this lecture notes I will follow for particular this module. I will follow the lecture notes of Professor Wang D. Liang. Professor Wang D. Liang. I am following a particular notes for this module, for this particular module, prepared by Professor Wang D. Liang of Ohio State University. All the reference of these notes and website will be available in the video lecture in YouTube channel, as well as in my notes, which I will post in Schoology account. Okay, so just I am going to share the notes. Is it visible to all of you? The notes is visible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So deduction, that is the second and final part of any kind of propositional predicate logic. How we can deduce the knowledge from a logic, from a representation, from the fact. How we can create knowledge from the fact, that we have discussed in our last class. Today's class we will discuss about the deduction, which is very important for any kind of logical reasoning or knowledge representation for a machine, because logical reasoning and knowledge representation is very much very much inherent for any human being. But if we want to impose, or if we want to implement this knowledge representation and logical reasoning to any computer system, then we need this deduction part, which is basically the representation of this logical reasoning in machine understandable by machine understandable parameters or machine understandable language. So first of all, before going through this deduction part, we need to require some prerequisite knowledge. Prerequisite knowledge before going to this, before going deep into this deduction part. First of all, given sets. All of these prerequisite knowledge is required for detailed explanation of this deduction part. That is, you can see here assumptions, which are nothing but the facts, what we have already discussed in our last class. Then the universal law of logic. This deduction part, today we will discuss about it. Okay, from these assumptions or the universal facts, how we can convert into universal laws of logic, which is called as deduction. We can find all new facts which logically follow from the assumptions can be used to prove an assertion or disprove an assertion. Assertion means, what is assertion? Assertion is nothing but logic. From more than one facts, we can create an assertion, and ultimately we can, by following this assertion, we can reach to some truth. Okay, that's that truth, that final truth or that ultimate truth can either prove that assertion or can disprove or deny that assertion. So how we can logically do that, that is our main target. Okay, so in today's class we will learn how to do this thing. From knowledge, how we can create universal law of logic or deductions, and from these deductions, using some assertions, we will create these deductions, and from these deductions we will try to reach to a truth which is a final truth, and from this final truth we will either prove that assertion, that the assertion is right, or we will disprove that assertion, that the assertion is wrong. That is basically we will do every time in every moment in our daily life. As a human being, we do this thing every moment, in every instantaneous moment we are doing this thing, the logical assertions. Okay, the decision depending on the logical assertions by approving it or disproving it. As a human being, as an intelligent kind, and we basically in every moment we are doing this thing. Okay, but how we can implement or how we can impose this logical representation in machine, that we will study in today's class. So basic concepts, logical expressions that are built out the components. These logical expressions are built out with objects, variables, and functions. All of these above three are called as terms: objects, variables, and functions. These objects, variables, and functions are not equal or not synonymous with our normal language participants. Okay, here basically the objects, here the objects means the symbols that denote specific things or individuals in our real world or in our environment. It may be any kind of proper name, it may be any kind of common name, it may be any kind of inert thing, whatever it can be, which is a real world thing, that can be which is a real world thing or which is a real world symbol, that can be the object. You can see here John, Mary, all of these are basically some proper names. Okay, basketball, it is a particular inert thing. Triangle, this is a common shape. Quantifiers, all of these are basically your objects. Okay, now the variables. Variables are unspecific references to the object. Unspecific reference to the object. What does it mean? Unspecific reference means, that is, I say say I'm telling you card, C-A-R, card. This car, this word car, it's a common name, common noun. This car can be an object. Now I am saying car Honda. Now I am giving you a particular example. I am giving you a particular reference to that object car. Honda is a particular reference of that object car. So we can say car within bracket Honda. That means Honda is a particular reference which is basically belongs to the superset car. Okay, so this is called variable unspecific reference to the object. Any example or any sample, okay, or any reference to that particular object. Okay, human is an object. Now we say human, say Ram. So Ram is a reference which belongs to the set, which belongs to the object human. So this is the relationship between object and variables. Is it clear to all of you? Is it clear to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So as there is no video is on, so when I will ask anything regarding the clarity of the topic, you please give me the answer. Otherwise, it will be difficult for me in every class. I'm telling you. Otherwise, it will be difficult for me to understand either you have it is clear to you or not. Okay. So now functions. Functions is just like the function. The definition of function you already know. Regarding any in the light of computer science, the definition of function, what you have already learned here, the meaning of the function is same to that. An argument to a function is either an object or a variable, starting with the lowercase letter. Like here are some examples, like exp, the function that is the exponential function, exp within the bracket 0. Okay, that is basically 0 is either an object or a variable. So exponential of 0 is equal to 1. So this is the relationship of a function with the object or variable 0. Exponential of 0, exponential function, the value of exponential function of 0 is equal to 1. So exp within bracket 0 equal to 1. Then next day. This next day is the function. Object is Thursday. So we have applied the function next day over the object Thursday. So the result is Friday. In the same way, the function is brother. The function is brother and the object is John. So the brother of John is Jim. Result is Jim. So function always operates. A function always operates over an object or a variable. Okay. So we can say that the function of that object or variable equal to, it will give us some result. Next day, the function next day of Thursday. Thursday is an object. So the function, we have applied the function next day over the object Thursday, and the result is, or the output is Friday. Here Thursday is the argument to that function. Argument of that function next day. Okay. So is it clear to all of you what is object, what is variable, and what is function?
Sir.
Is it clear to all of you?
Sir.
Yes, tell me. Who is it?
Sir, Shantanu.
Shantanu, yes, tell me.
Sir, বলছি অবজেক্ট কি তাহলে প্যারামিটার বলতে পারি আমরা?
No. Object is basically parameter means you are talking about argument to the function. You are talking about argument to that function, মানে object or variable. is always the argument of a function. Object and variable
okay,
is
okay.
always an argument to a function. Okay. Parameter is something.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Parameter is something we can't say it parameter, because parameter means it is something by which we can measure anything. We can quantify anything. Parameter is something by which we can quantify anything. Okay, so object and variable cannot be always a parameter. Sometimes it can be, but in general you can't say that an object or variable is a parameter. You can say that object and variable is the argument of any function. That is true, but we can't always say it as a parameter. Okay. In some example, you will get you will see that it is just like our normal procedural language. In a function, we can pass the parameter. Here also, it is something like that. But object and variable cannot always be defined as a parameter. Rather, you can say that it is an argument to that function. Okay. So anything else regarding object, variables, and functions? Anyone want to ask anything regarding up to this thing? Okay. Next these three these three things: predicates, connectives, and quantifiers. All of these terminologies you need to know for framing up the deductive logic for first order, second order, third order predicate logic. Okay. So predicates, connectives, and quantifiers. What are these three terms? Predicates. Predicates are nothing but a special kind of functions. Predicates are nothing but some special kind of functions which only returns true or false. Predicates are a special kind of functions which only returns true or false. Okay. So for example, you can see here loves. This is a function. Okay. And these predicates, there are some particular syntax to write this predicate. Predicate always start with uppercase letter. Predicates always starts with uppercase letter. As you can see, loves, John, Mary. So John and Mary loves each other. So this is true or false. What this function will return? Loves, John, Mary. Either it will return yes or it will return no. So either John loves Mary or John doesn't love Mary. Okay. So this is a predicate type function. Then man, Socrates. The function is man, and the argument or the object is Socrates. So the result of this function can be either yes or no. So either true or false. So this function, particular function, man, is a predicate. In the same way, sunny, Thursday. There is a printing mistake. It will be Thursday. So sunny, Thursday. So Thursday is either sunny or not. So either true or false. So this type of functions, loves, man, sunny, there are some examples. These type of functions which will return only true or false, this type of functions are called as predicate. Next, connectives. Connectives and quantifiers we have already discussed in our last class. If you just gone through your previous day's lessons, you will recall it, you can recall it, that connectives and quantifiers. The connectives are, there are 4 types of connectives we use to convert or to use for this deduction, to deduce the knowledge. One is AND. The symbols are here. You can see the symbols. One is AND. In the last day class, I have followed the book A Modern Approach for Artificial Intelligence by Russell and Norwich, published by Prentice Hall India. There also it was described in a table format. I think you can recall it. So these are the logical operators which are called as connectives, that is and, or, not, and implies of. And, or, not, and implies of. And the way and, are, not, and implies of, these are the connectives. This will compute the truth value. This will compute the truth value of the predicates. Okay. And these are the quantifiers. These are the quantifiers. Quantifiers means quantifiers always describe the scope of a predicate function. A quantifier always describes the scope of a predicate function. There are two types of quantifiers we use throughout this logical reasoning part. One is called as for all, or sometimes this is called as universal quantifier. This is also we have discussed in our last class from the book A Modern Approach to Artificial Intelligence by Russell and Norwich. So the first quantifier that you can see here, for all, or the universal quantifier, the symbol is it's a reverse, it's a opposite, reverse A, reverse capital A. The symbol is a reverse capital A. And another quantifiers we will use, that is called there exist, existential quantifier. So two types of quantifiers we will use. One is universal quantifier, that is for all, and another is existential quantifier, that is there exists. The symbol of there exists is reverse capital E, reverse capital E. Okay. This literal has a very literals have a very small effect on this deductive logic. It is nothing but a term, is an object, variable, or a function. All of these are called as literals. It is synonymous to, you can say that sometimes it is synonymous to keywords also. Okay. So this is called literals. An atomic formula, that is called atom. Okay, all of these are called literals. Now the last thing, that is called well-formed formulas, WFF. Well-formed formulas, or WFF. These literals are nothing but this WFF. That means starting from the fact and converting from the facts to the knowledge, whatever the procedure we will follow, we will use all of these semantic and syntax like object, variables, functions, connectives, and quantifiers. So using these five tuples, the first one is object, second one is variable, third one is function, fourth one is connectives, and the fifth one is quantifiers. Predicate is, I am not specially mentioned predicate because predicate belongs to the function. Predicate is a special type of function which only can return true or false. So object, variables, functions, connectives, and quantifiers. Using these five tuples, we can create these literals or WFF. Our main target is to form this WFF because ultimately this WFF is understandable by the machine. This WFF is basically the mathematical or symbolic representation of any kind of high-level language or fact. Can you understand this? Up to this, is it clear? What is WFF and why we have to form this? Everyone, is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
What about the others? Only I am getting response from Nilanjan and Shantanu has asked me a question. What about the others? Either
Yes,
they
sir,
are
it
not
is.
understanding. Okay, please answer my question. Otherwise, it is difficult. I'm repetitively telling you. You are not in front of me physically, so it will be difficult for me to getting that feelings. Either you are, it is clear to you or not. Okay, so please give me the answer. When I'm asking you that it is clear to you, please give me the answer. Okay, so this is the complete journey from fact to the well-formed formula. That is our ultimate target. That is the ultimate target of this module, knowledge representation by logical reasoning. We are going to create the well-formed formula or WFF, which is actually understandable by the machine. Because all the other things like fact, knowledge, everything, deductions, everything, these are basically in human level or high level language like English, Bengali, Hindi, whatever the language it can be. So it is not directly understandable by the intelligent system. So we have to make it converted in such a format which will be understandable to any kind of intelligent machine. Okay, that's why we need this well-formed formula or WFF. So to create this WFF, we need these 5 tuples. 5 tuples. One is object. I'm just gisting up everything or summarize the whole thing. Then we will start this forming this. Then we will start the forming of this well-formed formula with an example, with a very, very interesting example, I think. That will be very much interesting to you also. So we will convert this WFF, we will create this WFF using 5 tuples. One is object, that can be anything, any symbol, any real life thing, any real world individual, any real life symbols, objects, anything. Okay, then variables. Variables is nothing but the reference of that object, which is basically the superset. So variable can be a specific reference of that object. Then the functions. Functions are nothing but the function you know in the light of computer science. That is, functions always have some argument, and this argument is nothing but that object or variable. Okay, that is a third tuple. Fourth tuple, and there is a predicate type functions. There is a special kind of functions which is called as predicates. This type of functions is always returning values in true or false. Okay, and then the fourth tuple is connectives. You know the connectives, that is and or not and implies of, and or not and implies of. And the fourth and the fifth tuple is quantifiers. There are 2 types of quantifiers. One is universal quantifier, that is called for all. The symbol is a reverse capital A. And the second quantifier is existential quantifier, which is called as there exists. Okay, and the symbol is a reverse capital E. So these are the basics or the prerequisite of well-formed formula. Is it clear up to this? Clear to all of you? Any problem? Any question? Any ambiguity up to this? If anyone have any query, you can ask me. Okay. So I have one question to all of you. Anyone can give the answer. What is basically the priority of the connectives? What is the priority of the connectives? Can you give me the sequence? Can you give me the priority sequence of the connectives? We have discussed in our last class. Any one of you? The priority sequence of connectives. Anyone? Any one of you who will give the answer? No one, I think. peculiar silence. Anyway, so I have already discussed and I have repetitively discussed it in my last class. What is the priority sequence of the connectives? It is very much important because if you can recall the last class, there was a concept. There is a concept which we have to use in the formation of this WFF, that is parenthesis or bracket. That is parenthesis or bracket. Can you recall? Can you recall it? In the last class, I have discussed it.
স্যার আরেকবার দেখাবেন ওই জিনিসটা?
এখানে আমি দেখাইনি কিছুই। I am just quoting something from my last class. That is, my question was, what is the priority? What are the priority sequence of the quantifiers? There are 4 quantifiers we are using here, and what are the priority sequence? What is the priority sequence of these quantifiers, and why this priority sequence is required? My question was that. You can answer this question from the last class, last sessions, and this class is already available in YouTube channel also. Anyway, no one of you have gone through this thing, and this is very much pathetic. Anyway, so the thing is that this priority sequence is required because sometimes for the formulation of this WFF or a well-formed formula, we require to use some parentheses or brackets. I have discussed in my last class. This is already has been discussed in the last class, so I am just repeating it. So sometimes these parentheses and brackets are used for the formulation of this WFF, and when these brackets are used, we need to know, then we need to apply this connectives according to their priority sequence. Okay, that's why this priority sequence of these connectives are required very much, and this is basically the priority. As you can see here, this is basically the priority. I have told you in the last class regarding this thing also, but you have forgotten it. The first priority is, the highest priority is not, then the second highest, then the second priority is and, then the third priority is or, and the last priority is implies of. These are the priority sequence of connectives, not and or, then lastly implies of. So try to remember it, because now throughout the formulation of this WFF, we have to remember everything what till now we have studied, that is prerequisite knowledge. We need to keep in mind all of these things, otherwise we can't formulate it. We can't formulate this WFF. Okay, let's start. Before starting with WFF, formulation of WFF, I am just advising you, do not just like this heuristic, we have already covered heuristic search algorithm, adversarial search topic, and this is the third largest topic of AI as per your syllabus, that is knowledge representation and logical reasoning. Do not neglect these 3 big portion of your syllabus, because the maximum question will come from this in semester. Maximum question will come from these 3 chapters or 3 modules. Okay, and listen very carefully, very carefully. Now we are going for the background mathematical logic of this WFF. You all know these things. As you know that we will use these connectives like not, and, or, and implies of, As per the Boolean's algebra, these connectives or the mathematical logic is driven by De Morgan's law and the distributivity factor. De Morgan's law and distributivity factor. You all know this thing, the distributivity factor, De Morgan's law, and the other law of negation. Basically, the mathematical logic of this WFF, the mathematical logic of this well-formed formula WFF or literals, whatever you can say, the formulation is driven by the mathematical logic of distributivity and De Morgan's law and the law of negation. All of these three laws are very basic laws, and you all know that. Just need some brush up. I'm not going through this De Morgan's law and distributivity because you can go through the notes. I will share these notes to all of you in Schoology platform, so you can go through it. So next, I'll proceed. These are the laws. You can go through it. Okay, now we will start for this well-formed formula, how we can create this WFF, because it is very much important, because in semester you will get the question to formulate a WFF using some object variables and functions. Some objects, variables, and functions will be given to you, and you have to create the WFF, and ultimately you have to deduce. You have to create some deduction. Ultimately, you have to create some deductions, or you have to deduce some logic with some assertions, either in approval or in disapproval. So how we can create this total formulation using a very, very typical example, which you can find in your Rich and Knight book as well as in your Russell Norwich book also. This is a very typical example, and we will go through this example. This example is very much interesting example. Okay, so we will follow this example, and this example will be enriched, will be a growing example. One by one, we will expand this example, and from this expansion we will find out the use of all of these connectives and all of these quantifiers, and we will see how we can create different kinds of impossible logics, or different kinds of new deductions we can create from these examples. It is very much interesting. Try to enjoy it. Okay, before going through this example, I just want to show you, just it's for a enjoyment, and just trying to show you a 2 minutes video.